Hey, what's good, people? This your boy Cincy, aka Mr. Good Vibes, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, man. Listen, how you doing? How's everything going? How's your family? How's your health? Hope everything is going good with you, and I pray the Lord Almighty will continue to protect you. Now, with that being said, today I'm going to be talking about, obviously, you know what it is, man. Nvidia. I'm still talking about Nvidia. Yes, they have their earnings this week, and their earnings actually tomorrow after the market is over. But before I dive into Nvidia, I also want to talk about one meme stock that I've been watching lately that I think this guy might be ready to go. Yes, meme stock, the stock everyone is probably just using to play kadu, gambling. This is something institutional traders don't typically trade, but I'll talk about that stock as we go forward today. But as you guys know, the market gave up some of that Trump rally last week due to some of the news that we got from the feds, and the market did not like that news. But coming into this week, as of yesterday and today, we've seen a little bit of retracement, a lot of bullishness coming back into the market, and I think that might have to do with the fact that we have the Nvidia earnings that is coming up tomorrow, and even the Nvidia stock itself is beginning to show some sign of bullishness as well. But don't let me blab too much. I would jump onto my chart real quick and explain to you guys some of the things I'm saying with respect to my technical analysis, since I'm a technical analysis today. I know you're wondering how come a guy with a forex channel is talking about stocks and crypto but is talking less about forex. Well, that's not the thing. The thing is, I talk about everything. I have an algorithm that I developed, and I thank God for that. And it has actually allowed me to be able to navigate from one instrument or the other. So sometimes I'm trading crypto, sometimes I'm trading forex, and sometimes I'm trading stocks. Right now forex market is a little bit slow, which is why a lot of my attention has shifted to forex. So you'll be surprised sometimes I could be trading gold or a commodity like oil. So that is one of the good things about my algorithm. So like I said, don't let me blab too much. Let me now jump onto the chart and show you guys some of the things that I'm looking at and why I think or what I think about Nvidia with respect to the earnings tomorrow and what I think might play out. So again, it's impossible for me to talk about Nvidia without talking about the NASDAQ 100. So the NASDAQ 100 is the major index that pretty much controls or show you the performance of the top 100 companies, top technology companies in the US. And the top companies that actually lead this particular index are the likes of Apple, Google, Nvidia, and Nvidia is actually a 6% weighter, so which means it carries 6% of this index. So if anything was to happen to Nvidia during or after the earnings drops tomorrow, up or down, it is definitely going to affect the NASDAQ index, which is also going to affect the market, which is why Nvidia is so important this week. So now, looking at the chart of the NASDAQ 100, for those of you that have been following me, I do have a B sign, which represents a buy, and also a green arrow, which represents the direction to the upside. So with that being said, I also have my baseline, which is this green and red line. So my price, and by the way, this is a weekly chart of the NASDAQ 100. You can see that the price is currently trading above my baseline, right? And each of these price or candlestick represents Monday to Friday. So as long as this price continues to trade above my baseline and I'm getting a B sign and an arrow to the upside, that is continuing. That's always going to tell me that this NASDAQ 100 index is bullish. Now you can see last week we had this huge drawdown down to the baseline, like I said yesterday, and I told you guys that there is a chance that if the market starts to trade below this baseline, that is when I would start getting worried. So you can see as this week starts, since yesterday, there has been a lot of buying, and we are beginning to cover a little bit of all those losses that we experienced last week. Now, I do believe that with Nvidia earnings coming tomorrow, if Nvidia does perform well, that they could actually push this index a little bit to the upside and cover a little bit more of these losses from this previous weekly candle. But now let's take a look at some of my indicators that are below, because I have my primary indicators, which are the ones that go on the chart, which I already showed you guys, which is the B sign and the green arrow. But there are also some secondary indicators below the chart, which I also use to kind of like align with the primary one. So if you look at some of these indicators below. The first one is a true line cross, and the first thing you just want to understand about this is that the red line is a slow line, the green line is a fast line. Whenever the red line is greater than the green line, then that is a sell. But whenever the green line is greater than the red line, then that is more of a buy. So if the red line is greater than the green line, then that's more of a sell. Sorry. You get the gist. So you can see the current status, we have the green above the red. So this is telling me this is a buy or a bullish signal for the NASDAQ 100. Now, if I go into the next one, you can see this is a zero line cross. So you can see this white line is the zero line and the green line is the signal line. If the signal line is above the zero line, then that is a buy signal. But if the signal line is below the zero line, then that is going to be more of a sell signal. So you can see the current signal is above my zero line, then that is more of a buy signal for the NASDAQ 100 index. Another indicator is this one that I look at. As long as you're green, that is a buy, and if you were supposed to, if the color was red, then that would be more of a sell. So you can see the current status is green, then this indicator is telling me that the NASDAQ 100 is a buy. This is another indicator that I use. Very simple. The signal line, if it's between the upper level and the mid level, then that is a buy. But if your signal line, which is this purple line, is between your mid level and your lower level, then that is going to be more of a sell. So you can see the current status of the NASDAQ 100 is between the upper and the middle level. So this is more of a buy signal for the NASDAQ 100. Now, looking at another one again, you can see very similar to the last two line cross. But you can see, all you need to know is that if the green is above the red, then that is a buy signal. But if you have a red above the green, then that will be more of a sell signal. In this situation where you can see the current status is green above the red, then that is currently telling me that this is a buy signal or a bullish signal for the NASDAQ 100. So you can see the NASDAQ 100 is also trading above that baseline. So everything is also telling me that this index is currently bullish. So with that being said, we can look at Nvidia today. Nvidia is actually up 6.19 points, which is about 4.4%, which is pretty good. If you remember yesterday from my video, I said, listen, if Nvidia comes back and touch this baseline, I would be a buyer at that level, at that 139, 130, between that 137 and 139 level. I would be a buyer at that level. So you can see Nvidia did exactly that, touched the weekly baseline and moved up from there. But wow, look at that, we are actually about to touch this resistance, which was the last high that we saw from last week, which is that 149.65 level. We also have our B sign and our green arrow to the upside, telling me that Nvidia is still pretty much very bullish. And if you look at the secondary indicators, sorry about that, getting some alerts from my WhatsApp. And if I was to take a look at my secondary indicators below, you can see that let me see, there we go. You can see that my green is above the red, and that is a buy signal. Obviously, we can see that the signal line is above my zero line. That is a buy or a bullish signal for Nvidia. We can see that the current color is green. That is a buy for Nvidia. And you can see that the signal line for this indicator is between my upper and my mid line, and that's also a buy signal. And the last one, you can see green is above the red, that is a buy. So you can see both the Nvidia signals and the NASDAQ 100 signals are kind of aligning, and this is giving me some confidence that there is a chance that Nvidia could actually move to that upside. Actually, my prediction, since they mentioned Nvidia is most likely going to do what was it called, a 10% move, which is going to be around that 160 level, which is this white line right there. And you can see some of the sentiments that I'm also listening. I'll go online and then listening to the sentiment from other analysts, and let me just quickly play this quick video of what Tom Lee had to say about Nvidia going into the earnings. And let me see if I can skip this. Give me 1 second.
Nvidia, you expect,
and this is courtesy of FinViz.
Most likely, I think markets get very hesitant in front of Nvidia's earnings.
Really?
And once that's behind us, we'll see demand is strong, and I think market breathes a sigh of relief.
And then we did get a little bit maybe bullish or over our skis, so we pulled back to a support level where you feel more comfortable.
That's right. I think most of the major indices have pulled back to what would be technically viewed by our technician Mark Newton as support. So the NASDAQ is on the support line. S&P did a 60% retrace of its recent rally, and small caps have held above their prior highs. These are all bullish support levels.
Joe, let's start things off with the stock of the week. That's computer chip giant Nvidia, reporting earnings after Wednesday's close. The options market is, by the way, already pricing in what could be a 10% move up or down in those shares after that report. That's slightly more volatile than the 9% move over the last 8 quarters after earnings. We're also keeping an eye on a report out of the information that Nvidia's next-gen Blackwell AI chips may be part of server systems that can potentially overheat. Nvidia shares down 2.5%.
Let's talk a little Nvidia. It's far from a sinister situation, but the stock is going to be under some pressure.
Okay,
So as you can see from that video, there's a lot of bullish sentiment about Nvidia, but there's also one sentiment about the Blackwell chip stocks that are overeating. But I also read that this particular issue that could affect the movement of this stock or the bullishness of this stock has also been resolved already. So this is telling me that this could be a potential old news that we could be watching out for. But the action today in the market is definitely telling me that there is some excitement and some bullishment about these earnings that's coming out tomorrow about Nvidia. You can see from also the news they are also expecting a 10% move from up to the up or downside. So that's definitely going to be a big move, which I believe is going to affect the NASDAQ 100 index and also the market in general. Now, moving on from that, let's quickly take a look at the meme stock that I was talking about the last time, and it's GameStop. So I've been watching GameStop for some time now, and I also mentioned this in one of my stories that I'm watching GameStop, and I think this is one meme stock that everyone needs to be paying attention to currently because of the kind of upside that GameStop is potentially known to be doing. You know, from the last time when we had the huge massive short squeeze with the round kitty guy, and everyone was going crazy, and I believe this was in, what year was this? Also zoom out. Yep, this was in 2021 when GameStop went as high as 120. As a matter of fact, see, this was even recently 2024, last year. This year, 2024, May, this year. So GameStop went as high as $65. So you can see GameStop is notorious for moving very, you know, volatile. You know, in a situation where you see some kind of a buy pressure, and that's because a lot of people tend to short this stock. So when they see some kind of bullishness, the shorts will tend to bail out, or what we call a short squeeze, and that would tend to skyrocket the price quickly to a very enormous price level. So you can see the last time, this is what we had. We have a beat sign and a green arrow to the upside, and now we're also seeing the same green arrow to the upside and a beat sign. You can see the baseline is currently green. Is the green line. The price is trading above the baseline. I have quite a few resistance level at 29, one at 33, and one at 47, and I can also say the final one will be at 64. Now I don't know if we're going to get to the 64 level, but I believe if we break this 29 level, then there's a chance we could touch 33 and a potential that we could go to that 47 level, and I'll probably plan to sell at 47 level. Now another thing I also look at is my secondary indicators. You can see down below the secondary indicators, this is showing a nice green above the red bullish or buy signal for GameStop. You can see that my signal line is above my zero line, so this is a nice bullish signal as well for GameStop. You can see that the color is green. We've gone from red to green. That is a nice signal for GameStop. You can see that the signal is above, so it's between my upper level and my mid level, which is my zero level. So that is also a bullish signal for GameStop. I like that. And the final one is my two-line cross, which actually just recently crossed. You can see the green went above the red right there. I like that, and that is telling me that GameStop is also becoming a buy or a bullish signal. So this is what is telling me that GameStop could potentially go to the upside, and this is why I actually bought some calls on these, and I'm also watching the GameStop completely closely. So again, like I said, Nvidia's earnings is going to be definitely important and definitely key to the market this week. I, for one, I'm rooting for it to go to the upside. I'm expecting it to get to that 160 level, and I'm also expecting GameStop to get to that to that 47 level if anything does happen and moves to the upside. But remember, you guys, make sure you're trading safe. Make sure that you're looking at your risk. You have a game plan. You're not just trading with your emotions. I understand you're trying to make back some of that losses, but do not emotionally trade. Just make sure you stay focused. The market is topping at this level, so don't expect a little bit of much of the upside from this point. So as we go into the Christmas into the holiday period, I still expect some bullishness, but going into next year, only God knows what's going to happen. All right, so you guys be careful out there. This is your boy Cincy, aka Mr. Good Vibes, and let's make some small money together, even if it's just a little.